Hey guys, I'm Kyle from the Drafting Room, where we design and curate some really awesome garages and home solutions for Obsessed Garage. Today we're going to be talking about lighting and specifically getting into some of the nitty-gritty details to lay the foundation for our next videos, which will get into how to choose lighting and also how to install and stuff like that. Let's talk about lumens first. Lumens are essentially the measurement of the intensity of light that a particular fixture is putting out. That's kind of all there is to it for our application. We could go way more into it and really get into the science behind it and all of that, but it's really just not necessary for our application in the garage. What you need to know from us is that the more lumens, the brighter it is. It's how much light is actually being put out. Next up, we have foot candles. And foot candles are really kind of just the measurement of the light as it's lighting up the area that you're in or the work surface that you're at. We typically go for, that kind of 40 to 42 inch work surface height, and that's where we measure from in our lighting calculations. It's not really quite a 0 to 100 scale, so that 50 is half as bright as 100 foot candles. It's a little bit more subjective than that in terms of what we actually like to see. The range that we've picked out that we think is best for detailing and mechanic work and stuff like that is 100 foot candles to 150 foot candles. Matt's garage here in the building is 150 foot candles right in the middle where the light is the most intense. So that's the nice thing about being able to dim the lights, is now we don't have to be at that 150 all the time if we don't want to. But that is the scale and kind of the range that we're going for when we're speccing out lighting is 100 to 150 foot candles. All right, CRI is next, and CRI is the color rendering index, and it is one of the ways that you can measure how accurately color is being reflected by the light around you back to your eye. So it's how accurately you're going to see the red in your car's paint or the color of your leather seats and stuff like that. A lot of times the crappier stuff off of Amazon or what your contractor, home builder is going to install is actually going to be less than 80 CRI for an LED fixture. And that's why you walk into a certain area or a building and it kind of just seems harsh. A higher CRI light is going to, one, reflect all the colors more accurately, but it's less harsh on your eyes and it's a little softer feeling. The DMF stuff actually does a 93 plus CRI, which is really impressive. So CRI is definitely something that you want to look at, and you want to make sure that you're getting a quality light that has that higher CRI rating. The last thing we want to talk about is the Kelvin rating. Kelvin is the temperature of the kind of the color of the light spectrum that you're looking at, or what an LED fixture is putting out. So a really high Kelvin rating is going to be much more on the bluer scale. A very low Kelvin rating is going to be on the very kind of warm orange type of scale. What we like in a garage is 5,000. 5,000 to us is really that perfect baseline of not too blue, not too yellow or orange, and it just looks white. So for a garage where you're working on cars or building something or whatever you're doing in your space, that's what we want. That's what we're going for. In a home, you're really probably going for more of that 3,000 to 4,000 Kelvin range. It kind of gives you that little bit of a warmer feel, or like an old Edison bulb is in that kind of, I think it's like 1,700 or 2,700 range. The last thing you need to know about Kelvin ratings are that they don't affect the brightness or the lumen output of a light. It's a very common misconception, and something that we see as we're emailing with people and the questions that they ask. You can have an extremely bright 2,700 Kelvin light, or you can have an extremely dim 6,500 Kelvin light. So the actual brightness of the space that you're working in isn't defined by the Kelvin rating and how warm or blue the light is. It's irrelevant to that. When you're thinking about Kelvin rating, just remember to keep those two things separate. That Kelvin is by itself, and it's specifically talking about the temperature of a light. Stick with 5,000 in your garage, and I know you're going to be happy. All right, so that's everything you need to know about the basics of lighting. In the next videos, we're gonna get into some of the options that we carry here at Obsessed Garage, as well as how to choose the right ones, and then also how to install.